Some things just go together. For 3 seasons, the Suns against the Lakers have brought high intensity, high hostility, and lasting playoff memories. For 3 seasons, they turned Tinseltown into Titletown, a marquee combo worthy of Hollywood headlines, the defining duo for our great franchise's latest championship era. Their breakup brought acrimony, left Kobe without a sidekick or a playoff series win, brought Shaq to the top of the NBA mountain for a 4th time. Now Shaq is back in the West, the ring his motivating thing. Kobe has a new sidekick and renewed focus. So tonight, all paths cross again. Lakers Suns, Shaq and Kobe. It happens live in downtown Phoenix on NBA Wednesday, presented by Hanes. They play 1,230 NBA regular season games. For some reason, every year, one seems to stand out. And this is the one. It's the Los Angeles Lakers, winners of 8 of their last 9, against the Phoenix Suns. And obviously, the mega headline is the 14-time All-Star Shaquille O'Neal making his debut as a Sun against his old team, the Lakers. Live introduction of the starting lineups, brought to you by AT&T. Here's the public address announcer, Jeff Scott.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's meet tonight's starting lineup for the visiting Los Angeles Lakers. At forward from Rhode Island, number 7, Lamar Odom. At forward from Serbia and Montenegro, number 10, Vladimir Radmanovic. At center from Spain, number 16, Pau Gasol. At guard from Arkansas Little Rock, number 2, Derek Fisher. And at guard from Lower Merion High School, number 24, Kobe Bryant. The head coach of the Lakers is Phil Jackson.
Begin transmission.
A 6'10" center from Cypress Creek High School, standing tall and talented. Number 1, Amare Stoudemire. A 6'8" guard from Duke University. Number 33, Grant Hill. A 6'5" guard from Florida International. Number 19, Raja Bell. And a 7'1" center from San Sebastian State University, the Big Phoenician, number 32, Shaquille O'Neal. And a 6'3" guard from Santa Clara, your 2-time MVP, number 13, Steve Nash.
So, when's the last time Shaq was not introduced last for his team? As you watch the AT&T starting lineup, and we say good evening from downtown Phoenix, Mike Tirico, Hall of Famer Hubie Brown. Shaq's pretty fired up about this. Shaq came over here to say hi to you right before the national anthem ended and things got started. What are you looking for out of Shaq here tonight, Coach?
Like, he's got to give 20 to 24 minutes of meaningful production. Stay out of foul trouble because he's matched up with Gasol, who's quick quick off the dribble. And then I want to see the chemistry with Stoudemire on the pick and rolls and the double teaming.
You mentioned Pau Gasol. Since he's come over, the Lakers have only lost once. They've won 8 of their last 9. They blew out Atlanta last night. LA has everything going. And by the way, Kobe Bryant doesn't have the surgery on his finger, and he's rolling along at a great clip.
Well, I would say the last 4 games on the trip, come on. He's averaged 32 points a game. He's only shooting 49%. But we do know that he's playing with pain, and let's hope that he can suck it up and handle it over the remaining games.
Third member of our team here tonight in Phoenix is Lisa Salters, who has more on Shaq's debut. Lisa?
Well, Mike, just a few moments before he was introduced to this Phoenix crowd, I asked Shaquille, are you nervous? And his answer surprised me. He just looked at me and gave me one of those. And Mike D'Antoni said, of course the big fella is going to be nervous. He's a very proud guy. He knows that everyone is going to be watching tonight. He knows what all the naysayers have been saying about him. And he said, you know, for Shaquille, that's one of the reasons why he didn't play last week, because he knew he was not ready. And I asked Mike D'Antoni, how do you know he's ready tonight? And he said yesterday at practice, he ran several guys. He beat several of our guys down the court. Grant Hill, for one. To be fair to Grant, Grant said the big fella didn't really beat me. When I looked over my shoulder a few times, he was right there. So bottom line, the Suns are excited about their new big man, and we're going to see what he has tonight.
And Lisa, every person we asked who's seen the Suns practice said they've been impressed so far. And now we'll see, as you saw live during our pregame, Shaq and Kobe Bryant with a greeting. Much has been made of the past acrimony between the two, which is somewhat healed since. Now they'll be in the Western Conference, and added to this very intense rivalry that's been part of the playoff picture for the last 2 years. And oh, by the way, do not miss this headline as you look at Shaq and Kobe saying hello to each other before they welcome back to the West, big fella. There's a big headline in this game. The Lakers have won 2 of the first 3 meetings with Phoenix this year. And in the standings, Phoenix leads the Lakers by 1 game. This is their last meeting. Very important for a tiebreaker standpoint as we go down to this very tight Western race.
Well, Phoenix is second leading scoring team in the league. The Lakers are third. We're talking about 109, 107 a game. They played 3 games, the Lakers 2-1. The Lakers have been able to average 113 versus 107. So we know that they can score the ball against Phoenix.
Bennett Salvatore to toss it between Shaq and Pau Gasol. It goes to Raja Bell, Sean Corbin, David Guthrie. The other 2 officials working the game this evening are underway. A playoff atmosphere on February 20th in downtown Phoenix. First shot of the night, Grant Hill. Who, oh, by the way, when Shaq gets rolling, if he's a full part of the rotation, he becomes the 4th option for this Phoenix team, and that's a pretty good 4th option. Hill having a 15-point per game season. Derek Fisher, whose acquisition has been so big to the Lakers, averaging 12.5 a game, ties it at 2.
The Lakers naturally are in their triangle offense. We know that when they have Gasol on the post, not only must it be double teamed, but you have to watch the cutters because he's an excellent passer.
First touch Shaq, first foul Gasol.
See, this is a very difficult matchup for Gasol. If I'm coaching, I want to go to Shaq anytime that the game slows down, whether it's a pick and roll, look for him posting up in the, like right there in the painted area. Gasol will play behind him. Shaq can take him up over the top. It's going to be difficult to double team because Phoenix is the best at shooting the 3.
That guy's pretty good too. 2-time MVP Steve Nash, leading the league in assists, scoring 17.5 a game. Puts Phoenix up a bucket.
I like the way Fisher's game. He's having a terrific season. Excellent points, terrific shooting in the 3s and from the 2-point line.
Lamar Odom, a tough guard all the time. And since Gasol has shown up and Radmanovic has been solid, Odom has just blossomed over the last 10 games.
I like the way the Lakers are playing. They are very quick. They do not have to run to the second and third part of their option because they know with the first move they can score.
Stoudemire left free, and Mike D'Antoni, the head coach of the Suns, told us before the game, yes, we miss a lot of what Sean Marion does, but Amari Stoudemire's game has continued to expand to that perimeter shot you just saw.
Well, I think if you look at his shooting percentage, Mike, from the time he came in to the present day, he's up to 59%. The 15 to 19-foot jump shot is big.
Stoudemire the foul, Odom the bang in the bucket. Lamar to the line for a 3-point play.
Now, this is a difficult matchup for Stoudemire. Odom is terrific off the box. Now, keep an eye right here. Now, on the kick out to Stoudemire, this is the part of his game that has improved tremendously. Now, right here, taking Odom off the dribble. He handles the ball like a guard. At 6'10", he's very agile, and if you're going to play him man-to-man, he's going to be difficult for Stoudemire off the dribble.
Odom, who had a triple-double before the All-Star break, hits the free throw. All 6 field goals have been made in this game. Shaq inside. Radmanovic digging down, knocked it away. Stoudemire keeps the trip alive.
Yeah, plenty of time here. Big key tonight is, will the Lakers double-team Shaq on the catch or when he puts the ball down on the floor?
2 to shoot for Raja Bell. Bumped inside, shot clock violation. Before that, Radmanovic the takeaway, and here's Kobe. Right at Stoudemire.
Nice.
Gasol missed it. Odom squeezed it. O'Neal, the deflection.
Well, the threat of the shot block, because now you have 2 shot blockers in there with Stoudemire and Shaq.
Big fella. Right on the shot. Gasol gets the rebound, and here comes Kobe.
Now, if you've missed the Lakers this year, they are very quick in the open floor. You shoot and miss, or they turn you over, there they go.
Involving Shaq in the pick and roll on the defensive end, and Gasol makes him pay.
Well, we know that. That's why we say, can Shaq stay out of foul trouble because of the quickness of Gasol?
Hill responds on the other end. It's a 1-point game. We've played 3 minutes, and you'll see Shaq come out here momentarily. The training staff has told Mike D'Antoni 3 to 5 minute burst for right now to get him back from the hip injury. It's deflected out, off Gasol's leg, and the first shot of the game will come from Phoenix.
Now, the idea was excellent. If you're going to use Shaq in the pick and roll, Gasol naturally is quicker on the roll. If that pass was a little bit higher on the bounce, Gasol would have had a layup. So you can look for that anytime that Shaq is in. They are going to incorporate him into the pick and roll.
So O'Neal, 3 minutes and 2 seconds played. 1 field goal missed, 1 assist, 1 block. Stoudemire slides back to the center position. He misses. It's last out. Off Amari in Laker ball.
Yeah, I like the fact that they were looking for a goaltend because that ball was still over the rim that time, Mike, and Stoudemire went up and touched the ball. If you have not been tuned into the Lakers, they are excellent in forcing turnovers. They have a terrific bench that's given them about 37 points a game. They give you multiple defenses with that second unit down the floor at what we call 100% trapping, 3/4 court, half court. So it's an interesting team to watch. First unit versus their second unit.
Stoudemire deflects that out of bounds. It will be Laker ball. The Lakers beat Atlanta last night, 122-93. They've won 5 in a row. 8 of their last 9. Just went on as long a road trip in consecutive games as the franchise has ever had. And they went 7-2 on that Eastern trip. Gasol hits the hook over Hill.
See, that's the advantage of Gasol because he has great hands. He can make the catch on the move.
Nash with a response, and now let's see if the game becomes more full court from the Suns. With O'Neal on the bench, it's 11-10 Phoenix.
Well, if you're watching, you said, is Odom really playing Nash? No, that's because they get the ball up so quick and they put the pressure on your backcourt to match up with people moving towards the basket.
It's a good matchup. Gasol and Stoudemire when O'Neal is out. Amari clears the glass. Morris D out of 3. Radmanovic keeps it alive for the Lakers.
Well, Phoenix in their game, they average 23 3-point attempts a game and they make 9. So that is part of the game. They'll put the pressure on you from the corners.
Nash to Stoudemire. Now, I believe it'll be on Kobe as he was inside and picks up the first. Give it to Odom instead, his first. 2 on the Lakers, and Amari Stoudemire is going to come to the line. Here is a player who had a very serious knee injury, as many of you remember, played just 3 games a couple of seasons ago, has had another breakthrough all-star season. As you see the numbers, especially since Shaq has joined the team. Shaq is hooked on to the Amari wagon, and he is boosting the confidence of this young man, and really a boost in field goal percentage year after year, Coach.
Oh, you just love it because he's worked on his game, and the fact that he is shooting 59% is terrific. He's 6th in the league in scoring at 23 a game.
No changes either way in the lineups. Odom works to an open space and shoots over Diaz. Grant Hill the board. Only 8 games missed because of an appendectomy. Other than that, Hill has been healthy this year. That one on the sideline by Bell. And the possession will go to LA. It was begging to say, wait, he went off the Laker foot. But it is LA ball. Raja Bell and Kobe, they've seen each other a few times. Very contentious head-to-heads, especially in the playoffs a couple of years ago. Thus the booing. Illegal defense, 3 seconds unguarded in the lane by Stoudemire. It's a technical foul on Phoenix, and LA gets a free throw.
Well, they were late in coming at Kobe on the double team. You know that any time that they clear out, you could see as soon as Kobe made the catch, Gasol changed sides to allow Kobe to go one-on-one. Now, we know that Raja Bell, first team all-defense a year ago, is one of the tough defenders that we have in the league because he's a physical defender. The forearm is always on you, and anytime you try to get an advantage with a push or that, he's going to nail you right back. Now it comes down, he puts a lot of pressure on the referees, whether you make all of these calls or not.
Derek Fisher at corner 3. Gasol trying to tip it back in, Stoudemire up to get the board.
Now, the Phoenix Suns put a ton of pressure on you on a miss because they'll cover the corners and then they'll play quick basketball in the middle of the lane.
Missed defensive assignment, but what a block by Bryant, sending the Lakers the other way. And the bump by Bell on the open floor, and the foul is called. What a block by Kobe, getting up to take away a short 2 from Diaz.
Now, this is just a defense, you call it perfectly, Mike. And then Kobe came from the opposite side of the lane. And how about the fact that he hid the right hand and blocked it with his left hand?
That right hand with the fractured pinky that the doctor said should be operated on and will be, but Bryant delaying it until after the Lakers season and perhaps the Olympics with Team USA. Gasol frustrated inside.
Yeah, but he's getting good looks, Mike. He just has to take his time.
Cash, the 2-time MVP and second in the MVP voting last year, knocks down the triple and the Suns lead by 3 halfway through the first.
Nice.
Gasol now 3 of 7 from the field. He's taken 7 of LA's 13 shots.
Mike, that's the 3rd time that he's rolled down and had a layup. And we know that that will continue, especially when Shaq comes back.
With his freewheeling, beautiful basketball, Diaz couldn't finish with a hoop.
Now, Phoenix is the #1 team in the league in assists. And at the other end, the Los Angeles Lakers are 4th in the league.
And Bryant goes right by, and you hear some of the LA fans cheer. Kobe's first shot of the night coming 6.5 in.
Well, he doesn't force anything, Mike. And through the last 3 years, the shot attempts have dropped.
Nash has hit all 4 of his field goals. Steve leads all scorers in the game with 9.
I think somebody better pick him up and put a little pressure on him.
And the point guard play in the West, especially now you add Jason Kidd out here to the great group already with the Kidd trade to Dallas. Radmanovich draws it. Odom finishes.
Radmanovich can do a lot of things. He puts pressure on you because he's an outstanding three-point shooter, over 40%. But he can make the pass off the dribble.
No basket. Fisher will be called for the foul as we have our first timeout of the night. Shaq plays for 3 minutes. He'll be back in a bit. Kobe with the big hoop on his first shot. Steve Nash has 9, and he's coming to the line after this timeout. Lakers lead by 1 in Phoenix. All right, back in Phoenix, the Lakers lead by 1. You see a little bit of the tape on that right hand of Kobe Bryant. We mentioned earlier it's a fractured finger. Let's go through the details. And an MRI, an X-ray after the trip that they just finished resulted in this diagnosis: tear of the radial collateral ligament, an avulsion fracture, and the plate injury at the CP joint. It means it should be operated on and will be at some point. But how is Kobe able to play through it? Well, Lisa Salters will attempt to play hurt with show and tell to explain.
That's right, Mike. I wanted to get a better understanding of what Kobe is going through, so I asked the Lakers head athletic trainer Gary Vitti to give me the same tape job that Kobe has, and he did. And you can see it's really quite simple, but it is different because it has this bridge in the middle that creates this space. Kobe calls it a webbing. This is what guys normally do when you see guys that they hurt their fingers, they get it taped up. Kobe tried that for 2 games right after the injury, and he said it didn't work for him at all. It was just too painful. So Gary Vitti came up with the second tape job, and I have to tell you, it really does feel a lot better. It feels almost like there's nothing wrong at all, and of course there is nothing wrong with my finger, but I'm able to continue in this game because of the way this is taped up. Right?
Grant Hill with the hoop, Lisa. That makes it 19-18. There is Gary Vitti. Hey, Lisa, I just want to know, when we were here when Steve Nash had the broken nose, would you have broken your nose to show everyone the same feelings that Nash was going through?
Absolutely not, and I wouldn't have chipped my teeth either.
Radmanovich missed the 3, but at least you can expense your manicure now. You used it on TV. Leandro Barbosa has checked in to the lineup. Shaq is back as well, and Barbosa turned it over. Derek Fisher in the passing lane.
Yeah, they play the passing lane as well as anyone.
Grant Hill, no charge, I should say. He's called for the blocking foul.
With Fisher and Bryant out there with this first unit, they are excellent off the ball. So if you make a mistake and try to force a pass, they're going to deflect it and get out in the open floor. Now, a stat that is major in this game as of right now, the Lakers in points in the paint, 14-2. Everything is coming easy within their offense.
Each team has 3 team fouls. Derek Fisher, a terrific shooter at the line, has 1 more. Tomorrow on TNT, the Heat will be at the Blazing Rockets, and the Trailblazers meet the Sonics in the Northwest. NBA TV on Saturday. What a good game that is. New Orleans and San Antonio. And on ABC on Sunday, right here in Phoenix, the Detroit Pistons will visit with coverage beginning at 2 Eastern. And don't forget, Friday on ESPN, Phoenix will be a part of the doubleheader as well. Washington-Cleveland's Game 1, and Boston here to visit the Suns in a potential finals preview. Game 2. Shaq inside, double. Can't get a good shot off, and Odom takes it the other way.
Now, he had difficulty gathering himself in order to get up in the air.
But he got back, deflected it, but it still went in for Odom.
Now, Odom is looking great in this first quarter. Off the dribble, he's been a monster.
Offensive foul. Shaq ran the floor, got it, but bodied Gasol, and O'Neal is called for his first personal.
Now, when we came on, we said one of the things, can Shaq give them 20 to 24 minutes of meaningful stats? And then second, can he stay out of foul trouble? Because in Miami, he fouled out of 6 games, and he was always in foul trouble. Big thing here, if they are going to play him man-to-man down to that low, then he's got to get around Gasol. He cannot go through his chest.
And this is an experiment. This is the lab. You're watching the experiment play out. Bryant drives in. O'Neal and Grant Hill in the way. Hill deflected it. Barbosa the push.
The defense was great. They had 3 people surrounding him on that pass.
This is exactly what you were talking about, Hubie. What will happen when they come down? There was no fast break. They set up half court. O'Neal bats it around to keep it alive.
You have to remember, this team, Phoenix, were 30 in offensive rebounding and 30 in defensive rebounding. So anything that Shaq can do at the offensive end and defensive end on the boards is going to be a major help here.
Foul on Bars Diaw. He set the moving screen as Nash was trying to get around him. And Phoenix takes a timeout. Almost 9 minutes gone by in this first quarter of Shaq's first game in Phoenix. ESPN's NBA Wednesday, available in high definition on ESPN HD, presented by Olivia. Shaq's debut with the Suns. Mike Tirico, Hubie Brown, Lisa Salters on hand. The Lakers leading by 3. Well, Shaq has had a big impact without playing on Amar'e Stoudemire. And this morning we sat down and talked to both big guys together.
What can he do for your career?
Well, I think, with him, he's won championships. He's won titles. He did it down the stretch in the fourth quarter, for years. And I think with that experience alone, just by me, just watching, you don't have to say anything, just by me observing him will help me.
And you've seen it now in person after playing against him. What have you seen watching him as you've been on the bench?
I didn't realize that he was that good because, when you're playing against somebody, you never want to really give them their true props because you got to stay in the mode. But me and my Uncle Jerome was talking like, damn, this guy can play. And I just found out the other day he was 25, so oh my God. By the time I'm done with him, he's going to be asking for $600 million for 3 years.
Speaking of, oh my goodness, Kobe throws it down for his second field goal, and the Laker lead is 5. Shaq on the floor right now. Stoudemire ready to check in as Nash continues his perfect start. Steve's hit all 5 field goals and has 11 points for Phoenix.
He just gave us a little soccer exhibition there.
Very good. His brother played professional soccer, some indoor soccer as well in the States.
Well, I know Coach Arena, who coaches the New York team in the soccer league, also coached the national team for years, said that without a doubt, Steve Nash could play in the professional soccer. That's quite a compliment.
The knockdown and knocks it down. He's hit all 3 field goals and has 7, and the lead is 5. QB, what are you seeing so far out of Shaq? That's what everybody's tuning in.
Well, right now, he's having trouble. There's no doubt about it. The catches are in different areas, and then he's struggling gathering himself to get up off on the shot. But let's face it, the game is young. We know the nervous energy is out there. Plus, it's new people in new areas of where they want him to be. He is not going to be on the left box every single time down the floor. He's going to set screens at the foul line. He's going to set screens at the top of the circle. Well, all of this is new because of once the double team comes and he has to move to the basket and then catch the ball. Well, you got 29 games to work this out.
And here's the first one. And one with DJ Benga in for defense, and O'Neal fired up about the dunk.
Mike, as we move through the year, we're going to see a lot of that. And the reason being, you must double-team Stoudemire. You must double-team Nash. Shaq is going to get a ton of one-on-ones in the painted area, right on that defensive circle, 4 to 6 feet away from the basket. So once he gets in shape and he gets where he can make the catch, gather himself and go strong, he's going to be a major problem.
The Shaq-induced lane violation, which is a regular feature of O'Neal games. One thing Shaquille has, as we know, it's been well documented, he's been a very poor free throw shooter, but he has put in the time since arriving here. He was here at 8 o'clock last night on his own, shooting free throws.
Well, they were in again, and that time I thought Diaw was in first.
I thought he was in first. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's a very good. You see, right now, Bennett Salvatore, the lead referee, is taking over. They're going to have a jump ball. Both guys are in the lane, no doubt about it. Now keep an eye to the right of the screen. See, there you have one guy. You have 2 guys in. Now you have a 3rd guy in, and the ball still has not left Shaq's hand.
O'Neal, who's a 48% shooter this year, has been in the 40s the last 5 years. So DJ Benga and Amari Stoudemire's hit it. Shaq's miss ends up giving the Suns another possession. And O'Neal bumped by Benga, and the foul is called. And that'll put the Lakers over the limit and send O'Neal back to the line.
Well, Shaq's got to do a decent job here. If he makes 50%, we know for his career he's 53%. This year, we know that he is struggling at only 48. He's only 5 times a game at Miami did he get to the foul line. That's a far cry of a guy who is ranked 3rd all time. Wilt first at over 11, and then Bob Pettit 2nd, and then Shaq all time 3rd in foul shot attempts. So the big thing is when he's on the floor, is he going to get catches? Well, already in this game, he has 11 catches in this first quarter.
This fan base was energized through the playoff runs, the 3 straight division titles over the last 3 seasons. But there's such chatter and energy around the Suns with the arrival of O'Neal. Good defense by Bell. Doesn't matter. He stayed right down, didn't take the pump fakes, and Kobe is 4-4 from the field.
Well, there's nothing you can do about that. I mean, that's what makes Kobe Kobe. You can play him defensively perfectly in his face, chest him up, and then once he jumps in the air, his ability to change in the air.
And that ability by O'Neal when trying to double to find the open man, Leandro Barbosa, Shaq's 2nd assist.
Well, he'll make that pass, Mike. Come on, he'll look for the cutters first before he attempts to overpower a defender.
Now Barbosa has Bryant as they exchange, and Kobe will come to the line for a couple of free throws. Foul on Barbosa.
Now keep an eye on Bell now. Just why he's playing him as tough as you can play him. Did not go for the fake, stayed there at 6'4", put the pressure on. Now Shaq just takes his time, delivers the pass. All you have to do is cut and be open. Shaq will give you the basketball.
Kobe at the line. Hubie's made 49 consecutive free throws. He holds the Laker record of 62 consecutive made free throws, contributing to this point average. Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant, 2 and 3 in the league behind Allen Iverson of active players' career points per game.
Well, Kobe is getting to the line 9 times a game this year.
That stops the streak at 50 in a row. No, I'm not taking that.
No,
I mentioned it.
Television.
I mentioned it. He hit 50. I stopped and he missed. I'm clean.
Okay.
Blame Joel Myers doing the Lakers TV. Barbosa on the run. No. And Jordan Farmar the rebound. He and Sasha Vujacic join Benga, Bryant, and Odom. And Benga is blocked by Stoudemire.
Yeah, see, Stoudemire and Shaq both can block shots. Stoudemire is averaging over 2 a game.
Barbosa, 3.
Now you're seeing the Suns wear you out. They pass the ball. They're number 1 in assists in the league at 27 a game.
Tough shot by Farmar. Barbosa throw point. There it is, Shaq rebounding and outletting. But Kobe has been on the business end of those, so he intercepts the transaction. And we're down to a 2-second difference game in shot clock. Here at the back end of a very entertaining opening quarter. Defensive 3 seconds call by David Guthrie. Jackson Witts had DJ Benga here, but
yeah, but you cannot plant yourself in the lane if he moves off of the lane. You have to be within a guarding distance from him. And that time, I think Shaq was mesmerized by the track outside because Stoudemire went out to double team Kobe early.
At the end of the quarter, with the shot clock reset to 14, so it turns off. Vladimir Radmanovic, another shooter, comes in to replace DJ Benga, who's really only here because of the injuries to Andrew Bynum and Chris Mihm. A second big for the Lakers. And Grant Hill will sub and bring Shaq to the bench for this ovation.
Well, you have to do this. You did not want Shaq or Stoudemire to be matched up on a three-point shooter. So right now, everything is cool.
Bell defends Bryant, who's 4 of 4 from the field, 11 points in the first quarter. Oh, yeah. Kobe Bryant! Wow! 1.8. Barbosa will take it. Oh, online. Pretty good first quarter. Kobe and Nash, each 5 of 5 from the field. O'Neal, 8 minutes, 3 points, 2 boards, 2 assists. After 1, Kobe puts an exclamation point on it. Lakers by 3. You're watching NBA Wednesday on ESPN, presented by Hanes.
Welcome back to Phoenix. Phil, there was so much hype leading up to tonight. It almost felt like a playoff game. How do you think that your guys responded so far in that first quarter?
Well, we talked a little bit about the energy in the building. You know, there's tremendous energy to use it in their account. You know, don't let it daunt your energy.
And did it?
No, they played well. We should have been ahead a little bit more. That whole Shaq free throw ordeal was kind of weird. And then you'll get the ball back on a jump ball. But, you know, that's one of the things you have to contend with at the game like this.
All right, thanks a lot, Phil.
All right. Thank you, Lisa Salters. Thank you to Phil Jackson as well. So Shaquille will start this second quarter on the bench with the Suns trailing the Lakers 32-29. Luke Walton is checked in. Sasha Vujacic's pass to Gasol is an easy dunk over the zone. Bryant and Farmar, the other 5 for LA.
Now, Mike, 22 of the 34 points have been scored in the paint. See, it's so easy. Gasol is like almost playing by himself because any type of a pick and roll, they're double teaming, and Gasol is rolling to the basket, and he's wide open.
Barbosa, Bell, Diaw, Grant Hill, and Amari Stoudemire, the 5 for Phoenix, with 2 to shoot. Barbosa able to get one off the iron, and Kobe, who, as you saw, didn't miss a shot in that first quarter, takes it away.
Good movement.
And from the corner, Vujacic knocks down the 3. I love what Phil Jackson told us before the game about Sasha. He was a very good 11 a.m. shooter. We didn't know how good a 7:30 shooter he would be, meaning good in practice. How would he be come game time? He's blossomed this year. as has Stoudemire continued as he gets the move inside.
Mike, Vujacic is shooting 43%. When you have Vujacic and then also Radmanovic, look at this.
Farmar over the top again to Gasol.
See, right now, Stoudemire is losing Gasol. I mean, it's a number of times because once Shaq went out, Gasol was playing by himself on every screen and roll. Now, they've got to clean this up.
Walton the rebound. This second unit, if you will, for the Lakers has been great this season. Vujacic again misfires, and Hill gets the rebound. Lakers leading by 8. Nash on the bench, as is usual, back into the first, start of the second. The weave ends up with Stoudemire going right at Gasol. That's a Luke Walton tip to get it out to Farmar.
Now, Stoudemire has been to that rim twice against Gasol, but he has not scored.
Jordan, Farmar, and this group comes in, and Mike D'Antoni's going to take a timeout. I love this group when they come in. They play without fear, Hugh.
Mike, we told at the top, they score 37 points a game, a major contribution. They're one of the best benches that we have because they do it quick in the open floor.
And they start the quarter 10-2 LA.
ESPN's presentation of NBA Wednesday, presented by Haynes, brought to you by Chevron, the power of human energy, and Hungry Man. You are what you eat, so make it a Hungry Man. It's good to be full.
The headline is Shaq's debut in Phoenix, but don't get lost with the lead. The Lakers are going for 9 of 10. They're going for a share of the division lead, and for the first time in the post-Shaq era, things feel really good about the Lakers at the top of the NBA West.
It's starting to smell familiar, and that's a good feeling. And it's exciting, and it makes us want to push even that much harder and work that much harder because we understand that we're a pretty darn good team, and we just have to continue to stay on the grind, keep our head down, keep working.
And Kobe Bryant telling us before the game here via Sasha Vujacic fouls Raja Bell. So this was an important game for the young guys on this Laker team because of what Phil Jackson referred to with Lisa a moment ago. The atmosphere in the building, kind of like a playoff game, just to let these guys get a little sense of what it's going to be like the next couple of months.
Well, the atmosphere was like a Game 7, playoff game. I mean, come on. I mean, everybody, the trucks, the media, everybody's been here since 6 o'clock this morning. I mean, I would think that, that players came out. They're getting that type of an action. But right now, Phoenix has got to get their guys together. Diaw and Barbosa are struggling off the bench. They're 2 for 11. And then also Stoudemire and Shaq are only 3 for 9. They've got to incorporate these people.
It's interesting. That foul was credited to Gasol. I think everyone over there was trying to say that it was on Luke Walton, not Gasol. But in fact, Powell picks up the personal, and that is his second.
Yeah, you got to go at him. So you got to keep going at him with Stoudemire, and then when Shaq comes back, Shaq. Because you cannot allow a guy who's going to score a lot of points to get major minutes out on the floor if you go through the man that he has to play who has an advantage. And they have a major advantage with Stoudemire and Shaq on Gasol in the low post.
Took Diaw 7 shots for Morris to get his first point. He missed 5 field goals and missed that first free throw. So the Laker lead is 10. And Vujacic spots up. Sasha Vujacic, 13th in the league in three-point shooting at 42% in his 4th year out of Slovenia. Just a part of the very good late first-round draft picks that the Lakers have procured over the last 3+ seasons.
Right now, see, the Lakers are giving you a little magic. Kobe was down inside. He was calling out to the people to make a move on the baseline rotation.
Grant Hill, well defended by Kobe. Looks for the foul. Grant gets it to go. He's hit all 4 field goals. The 7-time All-Star, most of those in the early part of his career with Detroit. Farmar from far. Vujacic tried to keep it alive, but went over the back, and Sasha picks up the personal.
Excellent call by Bennett Salvatore that time. Excellent call. Now, Grant Hill, we all know that through his first 7 years in the league, he averaged over 21 points. Is one of the premier players that we had. 7 All-Star games, All-NBA first team. Now, you could see he was definitely bumped that time. He was looking for the call. But very quietly, he's going about his business here.
Did a very good job on Dirk Nowitzki defensively in the last game pre-break when Phoenix played Dallas and beat the Mavs by a dozen. Stoudemire goes around Gasol to the right and trying to throw it back down, but missed both shots.
Now, that's the third one that he has missed, Mike, in the last 5 minutes against Gasol. He's got to take his time and send it down stronger.
Luke Walton left free, missed it. Diaw clears it. Grant Hill continues the perfect night. So Grant Hill, Steve Nash, and Kobe Bryant are 15 of 15 altogether. Each player is 5 of 5 from the field. Let Vujacic get to the cup.
Yeah, Vujacic just made a very bad mistake because Gasol was wide open. The pass should have been made for a dunk.
Hill, 6 of 6. And helping bring the Suns back within 7.
Now, this is where they put the pressure on you because they run it back and they get up a good high percentage shot within 4 to 6 seconds.
It's a nice shot coming up here at the scorer's table next dead ball. Kobe watched by Bell with 12 to shoot. Misses for the first time tonight. Nash and Shaq are going to check it. It's nice to go to the bench and bring two guys who've won MVPs in the NBA down to the table to sub in. Hill on Walton. Both their dads are pretty good, huh?
Well, you got to see that. I had a mismatch and then the double team. Now, this is just a night where Phoenix Suns, the #1 shooting percentage team in the league, cannot make a basket close to the rim.
They keep missing inside. That's why the lopsided points in the paint. But Stoudemire, 8 points, 8 boards. The last 8 have been scored by the home team. Walton 3. Stoudemire the rebound. He'll have a double-double by halftime. Barbosa, the Brazilian blur.
Oh, that was good.
And Phil Jackson always likes to let his team play through these. We'll stop it here. It'll be a 10-0 run for the Suns, and the Lakers will take timeout.
That is an excellent call by Phil. You're on the road. No use saving your timeouts. This was very good. Stop the tempo right now. Barbosa from end line to end line. One of the quickest that we have in the league, and acrobatic in finishing. Watch this shot. How about that for a degree of difficulty?
And Shaq and Nash back in when you come back.
Back to you out in Phoenix.
Reminds me of the great New York sportscaster Jerry Girardi used to say, if you had them in 39, you lost, as they lose by 40 tonight. Shaq and Nash coming back in. Well, Shaquille trying to win a 4th different champ, or get to the finals for the 4th time, 4th different team. He's had running mates like Penny Hardaway in Orlando, Kobe obviously for the 3 NBA titles in LA, and Dwayne Wade in Miami just a couple of seasons ago. And now it is Shaq and Steve Nash. And what did Shaq tell us today, this morning, Hubie, that it's like the great Scott Skiles, that's Shaq's words, his former teammate. Steve, in practice, lobbed it to me at the rim when I ran the floor, just like Scott Skiles did. Now, Shaq's not as fast as he was in those Orlando days when the former Bulls coach was his point guard. Kobe knocks it down to get the lead back up to 5. But it'll be interesting to see Nash and O'Neal, 2 MVPs, getting on the same page. As you saw, it's the 12th time in the history of the league that 2 MVP winners are teammates. Barbosa 3. Look at Amari go up, get his 10th rebound, get the basket, and get a chance for a 3-point play.
Now, the interesting thing in this game is that the Phoenix Suns are dominating the boards. All right, that is their 7th offensive rebound. Stoudemire now has 10 boards total. They are doing an excellent job. You say, well, how is Stoudemire getting open? Shaq causes people to box him out, and when you box out, that opens up Stoudemire getting to the offensive board.
And gets Gasol in foul trouble, Hubie, and that's his 3rd.
Yeah, well, that should have happened even earlier, okay? Mainly because you know that Gasol is at a major disadvantage with Stoudemire, with the quickness off the dribble, Shaq in the strength factor.
And watch Shaq now go at DJ Benga, who has a couple of fouls. Well, they brought in Ronny Turiaf instead. Benga picked up a couple of fouls, and now Phil Jackson goes to Turiaf instead in the middle. And you'll see the Suns, when they get to half court, probably dump it right into Shaq. Stoudemire, a double-double, 11 points, 10 boards. Lamar Odom behind the triple tape. O'Neal, the rebound. but away it goes. And Radmanovic with 2.
Now, that's the second time that they have stopped and come back and picked off an outlet pass. Now, the old story, you cannot go out past the 28-foot line for the pass. You've got to shorten the pass. And that time, Nash was running away from Shaq. Radmanovic was laying in the weeds.
Barbosa couldn't make it over Turiaf's extended arm, and the Lakers come back to extend the lead, which is 4. Kobe, as he tried to come back the other way, had Raja Bell's arm in the way. Suns are trying to claim that it was on the pass. They will say no, and 2 free throws coming here for Kobe.
Well, Kobe is causing such a disturbance at the offensive end of the floor. Anytime that he is in the foul line area, he's turning and going one-on-one. When you run the double team at him, he will take it to the back. He's 6 for 7 from the floor. But if he wants to, he can pass the ball to the corners. The corners are wide open in this first half for the open three-point attempt.
12 years in the league. Kobe Bryant's about to move past one of the greats in the NBA in David Robinson. On the all-time NBA point list, he is now 27th with that free throw. He has not come off the floor here this evening, and the Lakers lead by 6 as Nash comes back down and is wide left of the 3. O'Neal threw it off Turiaf, and it will be Phoenix ball.
I like the activity of the Phoenix frontline guys. At least they're doing a terrific job on the offensive board, giving their team opportunities. Now, unfortunately for them, they've missed at least four easy shots within 1 to 2 feet from the basket.
And the one thing I can say about Shaq, he looks like he's moving pretty well.
Well, we say he's got 29 games to work this out.
Right.
And, you know, it's not all going to happen overnight. And by the way, this little guy, Nash, he's having a pretty good hand.
Yeah, 6 of 7, 13 points. A couple of MVPs, a second in the MVP last year. Radmanovic and Odom. Lamar takes the heavy contact and will come to the line. We come back to Kobe as he made that pass now with David Robinson. 20,790 points are technically tied here for the second, with Bob Pettit next on the list. It's a pretty impressive list to go by, and there's another impressive list that Kobe sits on. All-time scores for the Lakers: Jerry West, Kareem, Elgin Baylor, Kobe Bryant.
3 of the greatest who ever donned a sneaker, okay? And the young man is moving right along. I like, and I'm very impressed here tonight, Mike, with the passing of the Lakers in their half-court game. Coming out of the triangle or whatever, off the dribble, they are looking for the free man and doing an excellent job in delivering the pass.
Odom knocks him down. The Laker lead is 6. 4.5 until the half.
Now, see, this is all foreign. See, they have him out there high. He's just not comfortable out there.
4 to shoot. Grant Hill dumping down to Shaq. Yes, he will. Muscles Turiaf, the foul, and O'Neal will come to the line.
Now, let's look at this first half and say, you know, he's catching the ball an awful lot, and they're deliberately fouling him. That's correct. They're going to put pressure on him from now to the end in these 29 games till the season's over, because everyone is going to try to guard him one-on-one. Well, if you're going to guard him one-on-one, he'll get into the paint and he'll get the shot. Well, you know what? If we're going to run 2 or 3 guys at that position against him, foul and take advantage of the 18 fouls that you might have if you have 3 players at that position. Make him go to the line and make the foul shots, because he's still going to shoot 56-58% if you let him get the baby hook.
Stoudemire the rebound.
Oh, boy. I'll tell you, Phil's going to have a lot to talk about when he goes inside. Offensively, your team is working, meaning the Lakers are doing an excellent job. But they are doing a very poor job on the boards.
Fisher, muscles, Nash. Hill's help defense, kept alive by Kobe. Turiaf's hustle to keep it alive. Odom, fans wanted to walk, not called. Shaq goes up and gets it, gets fouled. And that's the physical, tough presence these fans are dying to see.
Shaq is making himself felt in the paint. If you're only out there for 5 to 6 minute spurts, you can afford to do this. And like I said at the top, can he give 20 to 24 minutes of production? And then, number 2, can he stay out of foul trouble? In Miami this season, he was having difficulty because he fouled out of 6 games.
We're going to double check to make sure that the fouls were correct, and also Amar'e Stoudemire is getting a wrap applied, perhaps a cut opening up. Let's talk about what Shaq, the Shaq tracker for tonight. Number of touches, 16 here in the first half.
That's impressive. That's very impressive because they're not running any set plays. He's just coming down in the flow and he's catching. Now, naturally, he's struggling. He's 1 for 3, but he is looking for the cutters and then passing the ball out.
We do have to remember in all of this, talking about getting used to the system, getting used to the up-tempo or half-court, what Shaq's impact going to be. He hasn't played a game in almost a month. January 21st was the last time he played a game, and that was only 4 games played after missing 8 with the hip problem that started in Miami. So the guy has only played in the last 7.5 weeks 4 times, so there's going to be that rust in addition to the newness of the Sun system.
If I'm a guy questioning this trade, I'm going to say, look, over the last 3 years and up until right tonight, he is averaging between 25 and 28 games missed. All right, so the key is we know from now to the end, the next 29 games, he's going to play hard. He's going to try to play, increase his minutes, do a better job, fit in. Well, the big key is in year 2 and in year 3, where you're paying $20 million each year, will he continue to miss 25 to 28 games? And can you sustain that in the West and continue to stay in competition in years 2 and years 3?
Off the 2 misses, Turiaf for 2. Aroni has the ability to take Shaq a little bit away from the paint with that game.
Well, he's had an excellent year. He plays with his heart. He comes in. He sacrifices his body. He's going to smack people around and get on the glass for you.
Grant Hill put it on the floor, a little bit long. Stoudemire pushed Odom in the back, and Sean Corbin called that foul from the outside. It's the second on Amar'e.
Yeah, that was an easy call. The guy behind me, I don't think, liked the call. Right now, he almost put a hole right in the back of the defensive player.
Radmanovich, Fisher, Bryant, Odom, all starters. Turiaf in for Gasol, who's out with the foul trouble. And Bryant short on the 3.
I'm surprised that the Lakers have gone to one-on-one basketball when they had so much success running the triangle, because they were dominating the painted area, Mike. Now it's leveled off.
7 of 8 from the field for Nash. 3-point game between the second and third highest scoring teams in the NBA. Nash draws the defense on Kobe. Stoudemire came to help. Shaq the board. He and Kobe push and shove as there's a loose ball foul there. It'll be called on O'Neal.
Now, at time, Shaq gets the rebound, and as they close, they're going to try to prevent the outlet pass. What happens there is it's kind of interesting because I think Shaq gets away with it. Now, just keep an eye on this. Watch as Shaq gets it here. Now, boom, see, they strip him right down. And right now, I think that they got the benefit of that call.
Shaq does pick up the personal. It is his 3rd foul. He'll head to the bench. A timeout with the Lakers up 3. Back here in Phoenix, the Lakers leading the Suns by 3. Before the game, Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant exchanging greetings. The 5th time their teams have met since Shaq moved from LA to Miami and now to Phoenix a moment ago. The loose ball foul on O'Neal, returning the favor as Bryant had a foul earlier on. They have been, I guess they will be, inexorably linked because of the 3 championships with LA, how well the Lakers had things going with Bryant and O'Neal as a tandem, winning the 3 championships, the discord that many people have talked about over the last couple of seasons with the 2 together. Then finally, after they brought in for one last run perhaps, Gary Payton, Karl Malone, And the other starter on that team was Devin George. They were not able to win the championship in 04 as Detroit knocked them out in the finals. And Shaq goes to Miami, wins the title. Since O'Neal left the Lakers have not won a playoff series. But this is the best the Lakers have been in the post-Shaq era. And they see each other one more time. And don't you just have that funny feeling as Lamar Odom hits the shot to make it a 5-point lead? The funny feeling that when we get to April and May, somehow these teams are going to end up in the playoff series. Who knows how the West is going to end up? You just have that sense it might work out that way.
Well, Phoenix has been the magic team, unfortunately for the Lakers. They ran into them in the last 2 seasons and were eliminated.
Fisher knocks down the 2, and the Lakers get back-to-back field goals out of the timeout to take the lead back up to 7. Lakers have led by as many as 13. They've led this whole second quarter. Grant Hill can't miss. He wanted the foul. Radmanovic cleans the board.
Well, it's a situation where he's having such a great half. He was 6 for 9 from the floor, but he's been fouled in 2 times, and he did not get the call.
Turioff working on Diaw. 2 guys who know each other quite well, and Roney able to knock it down. Turioff, age 25. Diaw, age 25, both from France. They were together along with Tony Parker on the under-18 team for the French 7 years ago that won the under-18 championship. They'll miss the 3.
Look out here. Look out here.
Bryant and Radmanovic. Kobe, the reverse dunk.
Well, you can see that one coming a mile away. You cannot fall asleep on the long 3-point shot. You shoot and miss, you must rotate back, especially when the shot comes out of the corner. That puts the pressure on the other small forward and the point guard to get back.
Kurt Thomas to San Antonio. Jason Kidd returns to Dallas, and the trade clock ticking down. The trading deadline comes up tomorrow. Toyota halftime show stories coming up as soon as the half is done. Stoudemire, look at he was fouled by his own player, Nash. The basket goes in, and Turioff is called for the foul. I think Steve Nash caused all of that contact. And it's going to work out. Let's watch this.
Just watch Stoudemire. The fact that he knocks Nash and to cause the problem that the defensive players now take a step back because Nash is going to the floor opens up Stoudemire.
It's not funny for the Lakers. And Turioff, who picks up his second personal foul. Did Turioff push Nash? Yes, he did. That's what's being called here because Nash is coming to the line. So the 2 counts, it was Nash for 1 free throw. He missed it. 63-54. That's the only way that could have been called because of that contact. Bryant gets doubled, and a foul is called on the Suns.
Well, right now, the Suns are very upset, mainly because they thought their rotation was perfect down on the baseline. They thought Kobe had absolutely 0 space to continue to the basket. They were looking for an offensive foul.
Lakers 10 of 11 from the line. The only miss by Kobe, who had his consecutive free throw streak stopped at 50 with his second at the line tonight. Now he's made 5 in a row. Looking for the latest gear for your favorite team? Log on to NBAStore.com now for the best selection of team hats, tees, fleece, and more. NBAStore.com, where wearing the dream happens. I can tell you, popping upstairs earlier to the Sun store here at the U.S. Airways Center, they were moving number 32 product with Shaquille O'Neal's number, Amari Stoudemire's old number, and it looks like Amari has some blood here, so they're going to go back to the bench for 30 seconds. Shaq on the bench with 3 fouls. Give me your headline, Hubie, of what you're seeing from Shaquille so far.
Well, I think that he's definitely struggling. There's no doubt about it. We know that there's a fatigue factor. We also know that he has not been on the court in over a month. But he's making his presence felt. He's rebounding, and that's what they need first. This team is 30th in defensive rebounding before this trade. And also, they were only 5 and 11 against the other 8 teams that are fighting for the Western playoff.
Teams, yeah.
Absolutely. So when you look at that, you knew that they're saying, hey, we're having trouble. Well, now at the All-Star break, they're only 16 and 14 in the Western Conference. They are in the mix right here with the second best record in the West because of the fact they're 20 and 2 against the East.
Kobe misses for the second time at the line. 6 seconds the difference. Talk about the acquisitions, the big acquisitions these teams have made with Gasol and Shaquille. A response from San Antonio, as the guys in detail in a moment. Hill tips it, And it's going to go the other way. Going to go the other way as the foul is called on Hill for Phoenix. A loose ball foul on Grant. It's a terrific tip. Wow. Looked like he had gotten around Odom cleanly. And Grant is called for his third personal foul.
The interesting thing about that ball had a chance to go into the basket, right? And that was the interesting thing. Now, it's a definite, a strong call that time and a correct call.
So it brings Lamar Odom down to the other end to shoot some free throws. What a half Lamar has had with 14 points.
He's just very silently playing his game. And now that he is like the third banana behind Bryant and Gasol, the pressure is off.
He's more comfortable, isn't he?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. And the rebounding is there, the assists are there, and the creativity. He can create for you. And then if you fall asleep and play him one-on-one, he can take your power forwards off the dribble.
Final 6 seconds of the first half. It'll be a Barbosa 3.
That's their game.
Third one for the Suns. Still time for Odom and the Lakers. Checks the clock from half court. That brings an entertaining first half to an end when the Lakers, Vujacic hit the deck hard here, but looks like Sasha's going to get up and be okay. Kobe played all 24 minutes and scored 20 points in that first half, and here he is with Lisa Salters.
Thanks, Mike. Kobe, everyone knows that you love big moments like this, but what did you like about what you saw from your other guys in this atmosphere here tonight, feeling like a playoff game?
Well, we're playing with a lot of confidence, and we're just moving the basketball, and it's good to see.
Now, your game plan against their big fella, pretty simple according to Phil. Keep him out of the lane. How do you think you guys have done in that department so far?
Done a pretty good job of it. The first 4 or 5 minutes, he got the ball, created opportunities for others. We since made some adjustments, and we're doing a pretty good job.
All right, thanks a lot.
Got it.
Kobe, Gasol, and Odom have combined for 44 of the Lakers 65. Shaquille O'Neal, 4 points, 3 fouls, and 5 boards in a dozen first half minutes. Kurt Thomas to San Antonio. Jason Kidd's return with Dallas against a good New Orleans team. And what else is brewing? Who else has a chess piece to move before the trade deadline tomorrow? All the guys in the studio standing by. Stuart Scott, Bill Walton, Stephen A. Smith, and the Toyota halftime show. At the break in Phoenix on Shaq's opening night in the desert. It is his old team, the Lakers, on top by 8, trying to tie the Suns for the lead in the Pacific Division. Our ESPN NBA Wednesday broadcast from downtown Phoenix is available on ESPN HD, presented by Olivia. Great vibe here in the downtown area just a couple of weeks after the Super Bowl. They'll host the NBA All-Star Game next year, and tonight hosting the debut for the Suns of 14-time All-Star Shaquille O'Neal. Mike Tirico, Hubie Brown, Lisa Salters. We have to remind ourselves this is going to take time to see how Shaq fits in. No final answers in one night, but tell me what you saw in the first 24 minutes.
Well, we know that he struggled, definitely. The points are not there. But when you look at the total game plan, the catches, etc., now down in there you could see he could not gather himself. At the other end, he's making himself felt at the defensive end. The rebounding, sent one down strong. That's his only field goal of the first half. Now that was his third turnover on an outlet pass. Right there, he shows you a little bit of hustle going for the basketball. He'll make the pass in traffic, no doubt about it. Just cut and get yourself open. Now the touches, that is an amazing number, but unfortunately only 1 for 3 from the field. They double team quick, he passes the ball out. So he's given a little bit more than what you thought in regards to the amount of catches. He's making himself felt at the defensive end, and then at the offensive end, he's blocking guys out. Stoudemire is all over the offensive board.
A lot about Shaq and Kobe. It's Shaq with the hip, Kobe with the fractured finger that needs surgery at some point, but right now he's surgically carving up the Suns again.
Yes, I would say he is, and he's doing it very easily with the 2 dunks and 2 layups. And then the fact that, and if you guard him, he's shooting right up over the top. Now he's shooting a high percentage, 7 from 11 from the floor. Now just look at that shot clock. You can see that everything is very easy for him, and he's not pushing or forcing any three-point attempts.
All right, before the third quarter with the Lakers +8, here's Lisa Salters.
Well, Mike D'Antoni told me that what stood out for him in that first half, the fact that he said the Suns were not doing a very good job of getting Shaquille O'Neal the ball. once Shaq sealed his man. He said the reason for that, we haven't done it in a few years, so give us some practice. That will come. He said, other than that, I'm pleased with the way our guys are playing, especially with our energy. They're up right now, he said, because the Lakers are playing very well, and a big part of that, he said, Kobe, the Kobe factor.
Thank you, Lisa. I'm watching Shaq and Gasol, each with 3 fouls as this third quarter starts. Shaq is like that very friendly first baseman in baseball. Chat, and then it's like the guy stole second on him. Gasol right to the basket, and the lead is 10.
Right back to what they did in the first 5 to 6 minutes of that first quarter. They get you movement, they get you from side to side, then they run a pick and roll, and Gasol is wide open as you trap the man coming off the screen.
Nash directing traffic, takes and makes the first shot. Steve hit his first 5. He's now 8 of 11 from the field.
Yeah, but he's having
points.
a lousy job. He only has 2 assists.
Oh,
okay?
Forget it. Send him back.
That's all right.
Send him back to Canada, right? Bryant.
Yeah, this is trouble right here.
Singled up on Bell. Tries to pitch it out. Turns it over.
Now, we blew a lot of smoke. Kobe had a great half, 20 points, did everything. Well, the team had 3 turnovers at halftime. Kobe had all 3. And you have to like the fact that if you score 65 points and only have 3 turnovers, your team is executing at a high level.
This Laker team is fun to watch at the offensive end. 107 points. Stoudemire goes in, draws the contact, and the foul will be on Amari.
I thought that was an easy call. I did not think that he had any place to go. He came in there, and it was a rather slow crossover. Just watch this. See, the crossover is there. Odom, no trouble getting there in time.
So Amari, Grant Hill, and Shaquille O'Neal, the 3 starting frontline men for the Suns, each with 3 personal fouls.
They know if they work this 2-man stuff right here, they're going to get something good.
And it's Gasol who forces O'Neal to come out and defend, and it's back to 10.
See, that's where Powell puts the pressure on you, Mike, because he can step back and he can shoot out to 20 feet and shoot a high percentage.
Nash so good at keeping everything alive, even when his dribble's gone, although Phil Jackson is saying that he walked. It's an 8-point lead.
Well, when you talk about Nash, 51% from the floor, 47 in threes, 89-9 on the foul line.
Odom on the take, couldn't finish, almost got too close to it. Steve on the push, Shaq riding shotgun. Bell a 3. And Bryant gets the rebound.
Well, they're struggling in their three-point shooting. They're now 3 for 11. We're talking one of the best teams in the league. Is there anything that this guy is doing poorly other than these turnovers?
3. Amari with a quick catch. Get right back from the easy hoop that Bryant got. And the Lakers are up 8. And this seems to be a slowing pace, not the frenetic energy that we saw at the start of the game.
Well, I like the fact that the Lakers are back to what they were doing in that first quarter. Take your time because you're going to get something good out of the offense.
Bell stripped it, took it away. Kobe pushed him out of bounds. Foul called, and Kobe right there to pick Raja up. They've had their back and forth, and I think Bell has earned Bryant's respect as a defender over the last couple of years.
You know, Kobe's one of the toughest guys that we have in this league, and Raja Bell steps back from no man. He is a non-drafted player who has made himself into an outstanding teammate, who's one of the best three-point shooters that you have, and then also a first-team all-defender.
Stoudemire up quick, and the foul is called. But while we have a second here, Hubie, we talked about Gasol. And if the folks who weren't with us in our ABC game that we had down in Miami, you had Gasol for a couple of years there in Memphis, and people talk about the triangle offense. It's one thing fitting in the center spot where he is now. Let's say Andrew Bynum comes back at the end of March, and that's the timetable right now. What's it going to mean for Gasol and his skill set?
All right, now that gives you a different look altogether. Pau Gasol is extremely cerebral. He's a very intelligent player, basketball as well as academic IQ. He will fit in no matter what because he can handle the basketball and going to the other perimeter areas that Odom is running now. Because to me, I think Gasol will make those moves. The big key then, will Odom go to small forward or will he go to the bench because will they keep Radmanovich and Walton at the small forward position? Phil Jackson can go a number of ways because Casal can play a number of positions as well as Odom.
Fisher with the hoop makes it an 8-point game. And the update on Bynum is his knee continues to heal. The dislocated patella tendon in the left knee. Swelling's going down. He's going to start running in a pool perhaps at the end of this week or next week and start the road back. They hope to have him back by the end of the month. That rolls out of bounds. Last touch by Phoenix. And it's Laker ball. And that is another adjustment period we have coming here with all these teams out west getting pieces added. The Lakers have another adjustment coming when Bynum comes back, because we have to remember, that's a long time to be out. He'll be out 6, 8, 9 weeks perhaps.
Mike, when we talk about Bynum, we're talking about a guy, who gave you 13 points and 10 rebounds and 2 blocks. Well, when he comes back, he's not going to come back in NBA shape. So they're going to have to play him into shape, and that's going to take a bit of time. And then he and Casal, how will they do the chemistry? Because now you put Odom up at that 3 position. You have 3 guys over 6'10".
He'll step back to take the 3 after Odom took Shaq from the outside in. The Laker lead 4 minutes into this third quarter. Lakers 1 game behind Phoenix in the Pacific Division. And Derek Fisher in LA a chance to win 3 out of 4 from the Suns and wrap up the season series if they win here tonight.
Now, Derek Fisher is having a sensational year. And not only does he give you the 12 points a game, but he's shooting over 42% in threes. See, he will stretch the defense because if you do not come out on him, he does not hesitate. He's shooting with freedom and then also playing with great confidence.
Derek coming to L.A. in part after his year in Utah when his daughter Tatum was diagnosed with that retinoblastoma, cancer in the eye, and the treatment in L.A. it's much more advantageous than it was in Salt Lake, and the Jazz and everybody really doing the right thing for Fisher, allowing him to come to L.A. in this offseason. And this is a big addition for this Laker team to have Fisher and Bryant as your backcourt playoff-tested players.
Well, it takes a lot of pressure off of Kobe because Kobe can either play the 2 position or the small forward, and he does not always have to handle the basketball.
Gasol on O'Neal. Took him across the lane. Shaq stays right there. Swats it away. It's 3-on-3 with Nash on the push. Fisher cut him off. Big fella runs the floor. Bell keeps it alive with plenty of time on the clock.
Yeah, I was surprised that Stoudemire didn't pin his man and do a better job because he had a chance for a dunk.
See what they want to do. Clearing out, going at Odom.
Nice.
And 1.
Oh, that was beautiful. Not only does he take him strong with his left hand, he comes to a jump stop and it just jumps right back in the face of the defender. Just keep an eye now because he brings it right back to his right hand. How about that? And up over the top of Odom.
Rookie of the Year in 03. You certainly remember his story when he was that Rookie of the Year. It was such a surprise. He was the 9th overall pick. Bouncing around 6 different high schools, lost his dad at an early age, mom incarcerated a couple of different times. Amari Stoudemire, who did not pick up basketball until the age of 14, here at age 25, an all-star for the 3rd time, a key piece on one of the best teams in the league. Odom from the top, that's 2 with a toe on the tape.
I always laugh in a situation like that. Odom was wide open. We know he's a good 3-point shooter. But Kobe Bryant got the switch. Nash was on Kobe. Nash fronts Bryant. Bryant has a layup, so you better make that 3. I'll tell you that.
Nash, bumped by Fisher.
I thought that was a difficult situation for Fisher. I thought he played Nash as well as you could. And he's upset, and he has a right to be. He played Nash beautiful. Keep an eye on this now. Just watch. See, he anticipates. See that forearm? Nash could not turn the corner. There was no daylight there. He put the forearm right in Fisher's chest.
And this is big, Hubie. Here at 6.5 in the quarter. Team fouls. Lakers over the limit already. And Phoenix has not committed a team foul. And Nash, one of the best in NBA history at the line, has one more coming.
Well, Nash and Phoenix Suns only attempt 22 a game. That's right near the bottom of the league. Mainly because they're a 3-point shooting team. They take a ton of jump shots. They don't go to the net. Tonight, they are going to the basket.
Yes, they are. They are. bringing Shaq in. They're going to get more free throws, but they're not going to be near the top of the free throw percentage anymore. I would guess.
You had to bring that up. You had to bring that up.
Hey, maybe it's the building. Maybe Shaq will start making them. Nash hit the deck. O'Neal and Stoudemire. Little combo.
See, that's the part of Stoudemire's game that a lot of people miss. He's 6th in the league in blocks at over 2 a game. Now here this evening, he has a couple, and he's always coming from the weak side. Give those guys a lot of credit.
So Shaq and Grant Hill go to the bench. Here, 5:42 into this third quarter. So O'Neal's played 18 minutes. They said he'd be right around 20. Bryant driving Bell right to the basket.
He's so strong in the upper body that he had Raja Bell on his back, and he could feel it, and he still got off a high percentage shot.
Nash lost control of it. Stoudemire somehow got it out of there and got it to go. Oh.
That's one of those driveway shots, okay? Come on. Don't tell me he had a good look at the rim. All right? He was shooting that baby on the way up.
And try it again.
That's right.
Deflected by Barbosa, caught by Radmanovic to Gasol.
Good. See, Radmanovic off the dribble, Mike. He does an excellent job. You come and double team him. His man fell down in that situation. They rotate to pick him up. Gasol moves and creates the passing lane. And if you have not seen the Lakers play this year, if you have not seen them much, that's what you love about their attack. Off the dribble, they make the correct pass, and the guy finishes.
Stoudemire, drawn 2. He'll say it was a pass to Diaw.
Yeah, now right now, Kobe Bryant has a good point, because Stoudemire wiped out the defender with that left forearm, and unfortunately, the referee did not make the call.
After Diaw's first field goal and a Fisher miss, the Suns can get it to 2 or 1. Here's the Shaq on the bench push as the Suns go more free-form. Deflected out of bounds. Dropped by Phil Jackson on the bench as we have a timeout. 4-point Laker lead, 7 minutes in, third quarter. Kobe Bryant, 24 points, 9 of 14 from the field. Amari Stoudemire, 9 of 16 from the field. He too has 24 points in this tight one. You're watching NBA Wednesday on ESPN, presented by Hanes.
ESPN's presentation of NBA Wednesday, presented by Hanes. Brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade. Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. And Semi-Pro, starring Will Ferrell, Woody Harrelson, and Andre Benjamin. In theaters February 29th.
Back here in the Valley of the Sun, 101st consecutive sellout at this U.S. Airways Center that opened 17 years ago. Lakers leading the Suns by 4, and here's tonight's GMC game track. So much attention, the 5th meeting since the trade of Shaq and Kobe, and Shaq's team, the Heat, for those 4 meetings, leading 3-1, but tonight it's been all Kobe. But of course, the big asterisk on the individual stats is O'Neal is on the bench playing in spot duty. His first game with the Suns. Shaq has played 17 minutes, 45 seconds, 4 points, and 6 rebounds. 4 to shoot for Phoenix. Diaw will take it. Rebound by Bryant. Kobe has 5 boards, 4 turnovers, all 4 of the Lakers turnovers, and 24 points on the night. Tonight he's passed David Robinson into 27th on the all-time NBA scoring list. Beautiful feed from Gasol to Odom, but he missed the layup.
Now that's the third one Odom has left tonight where he should have dumped the ball strong and made a strong move in traffic.
Nash to Diaw.
Now Odom is very upset with himself. That was a great play because
technical foul.
Yep, because he threw the ball into the stanchion. Right, and they're not going to allow you to do that.
That's right. No ball going towards the
exactly
stands
right.
Towards the fans.
Yeah, and that's just frustration because Odom knows that he left another one that should have been an easy score for him. A great pass by Gasol. Kobe Bryant behind the back. Gasol catches Odom moving without the ball.
See, after Nash with the find of Dial for the hoop, Lamar throwing it into the stands.
Well, you know, you have to be upset because Odom is having a very solid game here this evening. You know, he's scoring. He's already got 18 points. He's got 6 rebounds. He had a chance for 20 right there, and we still have 16 minutes to go.
They'll stay with Kobe, and it doesn't matter. Just let him go by that very last second for the hoop.
Mike, he stops on a dime. When he stops on a dime, he allows you, you're breaking your ankles trying to stop, and then he goes up in your face.
Defense on the weak side by the Lakers, 15 to shoot.
Now just keep an eye on this. He's going to stop on a dime. The man with the ball always has the advantage. The defender naturally is trying to stop. Unfortunately, his weight is going the other way. Kobe then elevates. He's done that time and time again in this game.
Nash got a little step on Fisher, a little pump shot. It's off Odom. Nash kept it alive, but now it's 5-on-4 back this way for LA until Steve gets back in the frame. Gasol, 2 guys inside, and it's tipped in.
Now, great pass by Kobe. Mike, that was a terrific pass. And Gasol, at 7'1", in the long arms, he finds him in traffic.
Dell wasn't set. The quick jack is rebounded by Odom.
Very quietly, Odom's having a terrific game.
Fisher. Bryant spins Barbosa. Dial waiting.
Yeah, good block. Good block by Dial. Look out.
Barbosa. And one.
He's like a bolt of lightning going from the left corner down to the other end. And then can he finish? This young guy really attacks. Now keep an eye here. There's your block. Now just watch up to the left side here now. Once that pass is made, he's going all the way.
6th man of the year in 2007. A chance for the 3-point play. And this could be a 2-point game when you come back.
One Mike Bibby to another Tirico. I think Tirico's got more game.
No, not so much. Stuart, thank you. Nice to see that reaction in Sacramento for Mike Bibby. How about all these faces exchanging teams here approaching the trade deadline, especially the Wild Wild West? Look at the faces and the places that started the season. David Stoudemire to San Antonio, Weber out of free agency to Golden State, Gasol from the Grizzlies here to the Lakers. Obviously the Shaq move. Jason Kidd made his debut with the Mavs. And today, Kurt Thomas moving in a trade from Seattle to San Antonio. QB, how about our staff? Nothing slips by them. The Kurt Thomas trades happened when we got to the building, and they snuck that in. If you're just catching it as you look at those 2 big pieces to already move, Kurt Thomas traded to San Antonio. Seattle gets Francisco Elson, Brent Barry, and the #1 draft pick in return. Your thoughts on Kurt Thomas in San Antonio?
I like that a lot, Mike, because you have Roberto and Duncan starting. All right, now if you move Duncan in, you can bring Kurt Thomas off the bench. Now you've got another guy. You say, well, yeah, but what about Robert Horry? Robert Horry is just having a so-so season.
Yes.
So what you're doing now is you're putting depth at that power forward and center position. I like it a lot.
So the question is, will they miss the 3-point shooting of Brent Barry, and we'll see what happens there with Brent in Seattle.
Yeah, I'm a big Brent Barry fan off the bench, especially in tight playoff games. He could always hit the pressure shots for him.
Shaq back in, and he looked much more under control that time going up over the shore.
I like that. Come on. And you know what was nice? There were no 2 guys on him. Right? They tried to play him one up. And I think as they move along through these 29 games, that's what's going to happen. They'll be able to shoot over you.
Game tied at 87, and Bell had an arm hanging on Kobe, and the foul was called on the Suns.
Now, we've been looking for this all game. No double team. Just play one-on-one. Go right at Gasol because Shaq can get that baby hook. Just don't turn baseline. Get into the paint and go to your strength.
The foul was on Dial. That is the first team foul on Phoenix. But as we approach 2 minutes here in this 3rd quarter, Odom,
nice move.
Very patient to put in his 8th field goal. Lamar has 20 points and 7 boards.
Now, Odom, if he would have gone up on that first move, Shaq had a chance for the block. It was an excellent hesitation and an in-your-face layup.
Another good feed. The double comes. Barbosa couldn't catch it clean. The clock's down at 7.
Yeah, you got time here.
Working on Vujicic.
There it is.
Grant Hill didn't take the three, took the two. The rebound came to Barbosa, so it was kept alive by O'Neal. And Barbosa tried to pull it out of there, tied up with Odom. It's a jump ball, and the fans react to Barbosa's hustle.
Now, this is just such a big game because when you talk about the West, we know that New Orleans only has 15 losses. And then when you say Phoenix at 16, well, the Lakers are third in losses at 17, and San Antonio is 17. This is a big, big game.
And the winner of the division gets one of those guaranteed top 4 spots, which means home court. And this could go a long way because the tiebreaker would fall LA's way if they win tonight.
Yeah, for 24 hours, they're in that spot, okay? In the West, this baby changes. Come on, Mike.
You feel good until you get on the plane.
If you're in the top 5 in the West right now, 3 games on the loss side separate 5 teams. That's an unbelievable stat.
Bell knocked down Gasol. There goes Shaq to dive and keep it alive. He took out David Guthrie, the referee. It's out of bounds off O'Neal, but listen to the fans react to his hustle.
The last time he did that, by the way, he went on the injured list. So come on, let's just hope that he's going to be all right.
I hope David Guthrie is all right. This is like a bowling pin, David Guthrie.
You know, we talked about that first quarter, how the Lakers had 20 points quick in the paint. But right now, Phoenix is up by 2 on points in the paint.
Oh, so good. Bryant with 28.
Somebody, this guy, Bryant, makes your offense look good, okay? With the shot clock going down. You know, it's a little bit like Michael and Pippen when they would come off and play 2-man, where there'd be 2 or 3 seconds on the clock and they'd shoot it in your face.
Diao tried the first spin, tried the second spin, and got Odom in the spin cycle.
You always like it when guys are heady with their back to the basket. They feel the defender, they know it's a potential shot blocker, but they have the presence of mind to use their ball fakes.
Farmar might have gotten away with a shuffle. Gasol over O'Neal.
He'll do that all night because he can shoot a high percentage on that 15 to 19 footer. And if Shaq comes out on him, then he's going to drive hard and finish with either hand off the dribble.
Oh, O'Neal to Diao. And that was the 3rd consecutive good post feed by the Suns to get it started.
Absolutely. They're doing a good job now. But you know, Mike, we know that. You know, 29 games, by they get the playoff time, they'll be cooking because they're an unselfish team. They'll make the extra pass.
Shot clock, game clock even. Gasol going to the hook with 0.4 of a second left.
Well, hello. Are you kidding me? Come on, he can do that all night long. Plus, he can go from the other side and make it with the left-handed hook.
Beautiful looking shot as well.
Now keep an eye on the big fella. All you have to do is keep moving. He'll make the pass, and he'll get it to you, and he'll get it where you can make the catch and get a high percentage shot.
Through 3 in Phoenix. Lakers by 4. Great 4th quarter coming up.
Welcome back to U.S. Airways Center in Phoenix. Mike, I know it's just been 3 quarters, but what can you tell me about how Shaq is fitting in so far?
Well, offensively, I think we're pretty good. We'll iron some things out. We just got to get better defensively. We're not all on the same page, but those are things we'll come together as a team and get better.
You were saying at halftime that you guys really have to work on getting him the ball when he seals his man. Did you do a better job in that 3rd quarter?
A little bit, but we're still a ways away. We're showing good energy, and we'll just try to find a way to win.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you to Mike D'Antoni, the coach of the Suns. Shaquille going to start on the bench here for the 4th quarter. Fans are going to start on their feet. The Suns, never known for great defense, hoping it improves with O'Neal's presence. So far, they've given up 32, 33, and 30. 95 total to the 3rd highest scoring team in the NBA.
Well, that's a great point, Mike. You know, they cannot hold them under 30. The big thing right now is, I like what D'Antoni said. See, they're trapping, but the rotations are poor behind the trap. The Lakers can get anything on a pick and roll to the basket.
Grant Hill hits the first shot. Kobe goes to the bench for the first time tonight. He played the first 36 minutes. This second unit for the Lakers, with Vujacic and Walton and Farmar, they come out and aggressively shoot at the start of the 2nd and 4th quarter. Let's see how they get this frame going. Farmar, two-man game with Turiaf, turns it over. Barbosa, Bell, Hill.
Big thing with this group for the Lakers, just don't leave your feet and try to force passing. Mainly because Phoenix plays the passing lanes well.
Nice baseline spin by Luke Walton, who as he comes through his injuries during the season. And here's the Luke Kent here in Arizona. Of course, the former Arizona Wildcat played 2 hours down the road in Tucson. Couldn't keep that one alive. Stoudemire keeps the possession going.
Stoudemire, offensive rebounding, Mike. It's incredible. He has 6 offensive boards here. Great block.
Blocked by Turiaf. Vujicic. That is a 2, and Mike D'Antoni will take an immediate timeout.
Yeah, I like this, mainly because Mike's got to stop this quickly, regroup his guys, and say, look, will you stop looking at them and say that's their second unit? The Lakers are rotating 10 guys, and Phoenix only 7.
The Phoenix Suns care about the community. During last week's NBA Cares All-Star Day of Service in New Orleans, Steve Nash joined so many other All-Stars like Jason Kidd and Dirk Nowitzki, LeBron James, Chris Bosh, Darren Williams, the best the NBA has at a Rebuilding Together project in the city's Holy Cross neighborhood. The All-Stars joined a few hundred other NBA and community volunteers to paint and repair homes that have been damaged from the hurricane in New Orleans 2+ years ago. The NBA, where caring happens. I spoke to some of our ESPN folks who were part of that day of caring. What a tremendous job the NBA did, not just with all the activities of All-Star Weekend, but that give back, that day of caring in New Orleans. It's a strong message sent by the league, and our hats off to the commissioner and everybody else who was a part of that. Amari Stoudemire out of the timeout to 26 points, back to a 4-point game, and UB DJ Strawberry has come in for the first time, son of former Major League Baseball player Darryl Strawberry. He's in for Phoenix, watching Vujicic. He got picked. Vujicic missed. Hill couldn't squeeze it. It was Hill and Walton and Strawberry, and we've got a bunch of second-generation folks out here on the floor.
Well, Strawberry's coming in here because of the defense. They want him on Vujicic because of the fact that he is looking to score, especially shooting the three-point ball.
Grant tipped it out of bounds. We mentioned all these second-generation guys. Of course, Grant, his dad Calvin in the NFL. DJ Strawberry and Darryl Strawberry for many years. Among those, there is Turiaf with the knockdown from the outside. He has a half dozen points, and the Laker lead is a half dozen.
Now, Turiaf has come in. He's made himself feel. He's making a big contribution. He's 3 for 3 from the floor. But the fact he has four rebounds, and he's in there banging people around.
Luke Walton picked up that foul inside just to finish that thought. Of course, you have Luke and Bill Walton, among the other combinations of fathers and sons that we see brought to this game tonight with these two teams whose paths have crossed in the last 2 years in the playoffs. The 7-game series a couple of seasons ago, won by Phoenix, and the 5-game series won by the Suns last year. Amari has one more at the line. Kobe coming back in. We'll see Nash in a minute or so. Let's wrap up Family Ties. For those of you who remember that show, there are the Hills and the Strawberries. Darryl, a 4-time Major League Baseball champion with the Yankees and the Mets. Kobe, his dad Joe, of course, 8 years, a star in Italy as well. And Mike D'Antoni was over there in Italy. Kobe Carl, son of Denver Nuggets coach George Carl. Kobe actually played a doubleheader yesterday, and then there's Luke and our colleague Bill Walton. Kobe Carl played in the D-League for the LA Defenders, played about 40 minutes, and then at the back end of the blowout against Atlanta, scored 5 points in a half dozen minutes. And I saw him before the game, and I said, how you feeling? He said, I'm exhausted. With Kobe Bryant inside. And he draws the foul. Jordan Farmar joins Kobe Carl as the two guys who have played both in a D-League game and an NBA game the same day. And LA's able to do that because of their D-League team playing right there in Staples Center in those afternoons. And Kobe told me that they run the same stuff. They're running the triangle.
So that's good.
The same calls, the same kind of things. So during the All-Star break and time on the bench, he's able to stay a little bit more fresh. Kobe Bryant has one more. TNT tomorrow has Miami at Houston, followed by Portland at Seattle. If you haven't seen Houston, they're playing great basketball. What a game Saturday, NBA TV. The Hornets, who won again tonight against San Antonio, and ABC's NBA Sunday. The Pistons right here in Phoenix to take on the Suns. Detroit has lost back-to-back games coming out of the All-Star break. They lost to Milwaukee tonight. By the way, Friday night, our ESPN doubleheader has the Wizards and the Cavs and the Boston Celtics on their West trip here in Phoenix. Mike Green will be in this chair next to UB for the second game of that one. Hill lost it. Bryant kicking off.
Not only determination, you could tell. He wasn't even at half court yet, and you knew he was going all the way. But you just love it, how he blows by the defender and takes the bumping, and it doesn't even affect him.
Could be looking at his 90th 40-point game of his NBA career. Amari Stoudemire fighting inside, and the foul is called on Turiaf.
Now keep an eye here. Now just watch as he just takes on the defender. He's going to go strong, take it right to the basket. Now you say, well, he could have passed the ball to the left. Yeah, but that was questionable because there was a defender shadowing the man who was in the left lane.
Shaq is back. Mike D'Antoni talked about 20-ish minutes for O'Neal. Here he is at the 8:51 mark. And UB down 8 with Stoudemire at the line. I'll be interested to see what D'Antoni does here in this first night of this experiment with O'Neal at the end of the game if it's close.
Well, everything is an experiment for him right now. You can walk through all you want. You can practice what you want. But then you put guys in a game situation. You're looking for the total chemistry. And then also, how will they defend and rebound the ball for you in the last 6 minutes first? Then the chemistry at the offensive end. Because you've got to come back in this. You've got to come back defensively.
Shaq and Ronnie Turiaf had some pushing and shoving there for a moment. Amari has hit all 10 free throws. It's a 6-point game. Walton, Vujacic, and Farmar, Bryant, and Turiaf. Farmar, 3. O'Neal goes to the glass and pitches out to DJ Strawberry. Barbosa right at Farmar.
What a beautiful finish. He evaded the charge and then gave you a beautiful spin on that release off the glass.
What a good game. Strawberry got the hands in there, tried to knock it away from Walton. That's why no travel is called. And a foul is called on the baseline on Stoudemire, who walks away.
Watch out now.
David Guthrie.
Mike's close here, okay? Mike D'Antoni's close to the technical. I like the fact that the young referee has had a lot of patience with Mike. I honestly thought Walton was fouled earlier as he went across the lane, getting to the other side.
Vujacic, Achu is off the mark. Walton tipped that out. Can Farmar save it? Only to Strawberry to Barbosa.
Now, this is a situation where you have to understand what you're doing. You just can't throw the basketball into the middle of the floor knowing that the other team has 5 defenders back there.
After back-to-back assists, DJ Strawberry draws the offensive foul on Kobe with the clear out.
Right now, Phil Jackson, he knows that he's got to be very careful. Right now, this is now, please, you got to regroup yourself. 7 minutes, 40 seconds. We have not turned the ball over very much in this ball game. So let's not fall apart now.
Good key minutes from the rookie out of Maryland, the 59th pick right at the end of the draft last year. Stoudemire down the lane, down the hole, and a tie game.
Now that was a beautiful read. Just watch the read here. You're going to see the trap, and then Stoudemire creating the pass, and then finishing strong. That's what you love when your front court guys understand. Send it down with strength.
Gasol and Odom in for Los Angeles. To join Bryant, Vujacic, and Farmar. Suns led in the first quarter, 19-18, haven't led since. And Amari just working on like 32 and 15.
Well, the 32 and 15 are amazing because at the offensive rebound, he's been a bear all night long.
Vujacic. Good tough shot by Sasha.
Yeah, it's about time. All right, get back to what you do well.
Triangle.
Every time you come off the two-man game to the left side of the floor, then come back for the quick pick and roll. Gasol's open every time. Not every other time, every time.
And his backcourt, it was not touched by Farmar, and the good defense from Jordan Farmar forces the turnover.
Well, Phil has a lot of confidence in Farmar. He's been a real lightning rod for the second unit because he can defend, he can score off the dribble, and he pushes the ball. He really pushes. And right now, with Farmar and Vucevic in there, you play Kobe Bryant up front like they did in the first half. So you have a lot of quickness with three people on the perimeter.
Nash for Diaw. Shaq helping Strawberry on Kobe.
Take your time, plenty of time.
Bryant takes Strawberry to the elbow. And Kobe Bryant with 34 points.
All night tonight, Mike. Come on, at halftime, he had 4 baskets right from that same area. Coming in and then out-jumping you and shooting it in your face.
The Law of O'Neal from Nash. And there's the first one of those.
Let's find the big fella when the big fella's moving. When his man comes to double team you, he will move to the rim. But you got to find him.
Bryant 3. Oh, why not? On his way to his 90th.
Now,
third best in the league ever. 40-point-plus game.
Like Strawberry and Raja Bell have been all over Kobe tonight, and he just negates it when he elevates.
Nash goes left hand, thought he was going to get the foul drawn there, did not. And inside of 6, the Lakers lead by 4. Gasol ahead of the field from Kobe, and a three-point play opportunity.
That's a situation where Gasol continued to run hard.
Yes.
But what you like is the pass. The pass was beautiful, right on the money. You always tell your guys who are dribbling the basketball, forget the dribble, pass the ball up front, and let the guy operate.
Pau Gasol is 24, Odom 20, Kobe 37, but Nash and Shaq hook up for the first time on one of those lobs to the rim. Amari Stoudemire leading the Suns with 33, but it is Kobe working on 37, and the Lakers working on sharing the division lead with the Suns.
ESPN's presentation of NBA Wednesday, presented by Hanes. Look who we've got our Hanes on now. And in part by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. And Kia Motors. To learn more, visit kia.com.
Stewart's got back in the studio, a SportsCenter in-game. 4th-ranked Duke playing hoops down in South Florida at the University of Miami. Late in the game, Canes leading. Raymond Hicks with the 2. Duke goes down, the 4th-ranked team in the country on the road, and the fans in Miami at W storm the court. Duke loses to Miami 96-95. Elsewhere, another upset. 25th-ranked Kansas State and their beast of a freshman, Michael Beasley. They go down to Nebraska 71-64. Let's kick it back out to Mike in the Valley of the Sun.
Thank you, Stuart. All the highlights on SportsCenter after the game, including the great comeback. Those of you down in Tucson, here in Arizona, who saw Tiger and his phenomenal comeback in the match play against J.B. Holmes. That'll be on SportsCenter as well. Plus full postgame from here in Phoenix, where Pau Gasol now has 25, Kobe Bryant 37, Lamar Odom 20. The Lakers lead by 7, 5:40 left. Shaq has played 24 minutes, more than half the game, more than we thought. He's still on the floor and gets the dunk. Off the miss by Stoudemire.
That's their 14th offensive rebound, Mike. Wow. And then their 15th point that they have scored with second chance opportunities. So it has really been big in this game.
Oh, beautiful.
Great block.
Stoudemire the block. Whistle underneath. And a travel is called.
Now that's Stoudemire's 3rd block. And we told you, he is right there. He's right up there, 6th in the league, and he's always coming from the other side of the lane. You like his activity this evening.
Phoenix has blocked 8 shots, as you see here tonight. They average 7 blocks a game. 2nd in the league. Nash, Stoudemire, O'Neal, Bell, Barbosa. Nash. Shaq on Gasol. Shaquille O'Neal's looked much better here in the second half.
Yeah, but Mike, see, there's no double team. See, in the first quarter, they were coming fast, getting on top of him, upsetting any kind of a rhythm. But now, you're going to play him one-on-one, he will get into the painted area. Now it'll come down to whether he makes the shot or not.
And how long do you keep him on the floor at the end? 6 to shoot Odom. Kobe sitting on 37.
Yeah, he checked the clock.
Barbosa the rebound. Nash to push into the big fella. Kobe came over the block. It's a goaltend. Look at O'Neal. Sprint back up the floor.
Yeah, see, that was a great move by Nash, getting Shaq down inside. Now, this shot does not have a prayer of going in. And you could see the block came. The ball was on its downward flight. Unfortunately for the Lakers, a great effort by Kobe Bryant, but the ball would not have gone in.
February or May 20th? What day is today? Kobe.
Look at this.
Around Shaq.
Oh, look
and
at this.
Dell took a shot on the side of the head, and Raja is shaken up. And now a 20-second timeout taken by Phoenix. And he is definitely dazed after taking that shot from Kobe. They look at him. Happened as he was going down. Timeout. Okay, we're back. You see Shaquille O'Neal is right over there as Raja Bell gets up. Looked like he was knocked out. And as we look at replay, watch Shaquille O'Neal's elbow as Bryant drives in.
Watch from the left now. To the left of the screen, you're going to see it come as once he goes right there. Oh, he catches it as Shaq is coming. Remember now, Shaq leaves his feet to go for that block.
Okay, so a full timeout taken here, and we'll step out for a moment. All right, Raja Bell has gone back to the Suns locker room. One more look at Shaquille O'Neal's elbow that knocked Bell out as he was trying to come over and help on the defense on Bro. And look at the knot on the back of Bell's head as he tries to clear his head and is taken back to the locker room. So now, Hubie, the question will be if Grant Hill checks in to join Barbosa, Nash, and Stoudemire and O'Neal, the two bigs. It's going to be on the defensive end. Who's going to guard Kobe Bryant? That's been Bell's assignment.
Yeah, well, they could go with Grant. They could go with Barbosa.
On the offensive end here, 3-point game. Nash to top. Shaq the board. Over Gasol. 2 free throws coming.
Now, we've been talking about this all night long. Stoudemire has over 6 offensive rebounds. The reason, because Shaq is in the game and he takes up so much space. You concentrate on Shaq, then Odom is open and Stoudemire is open, he's getting to the glass. Now, in that situation, the action was going away, and now Shaq is coming in. He's playing with a ton of confidence right now.
2 of 7 at the line. You know the way things work. It's so funny because we were talking about 20 minutes for Shaq as a maximum, but when he gets in the game and the emotion starts going, what happened? He's at 26 minutes now.
Right. Yeah. And we were saying at the top, if he would just make 1 out of 2 while he's working his way in shape, keep making 1 out, you can keep him out on the floor.
Yes. At the end of the game.
Yes, because he's really helping you defensively here this evening.
It'll be Hill on Bryant, Vujacic from the side off the mark. O'Neal the rebound, his 9th to go with 15 points. The Suns can tie or take on this trip. A very busy Sports Center with a full recap of this one coming up when we're done. The lob to O'Neal. Bryant got up, got in the way. Jump ball between Gasol and O'Neal.
Yeah, that was a very difficult pass because he could not make a clean catch of that. And you're going to see it as he's out of your screen. So he's over here, and because the defender came and got a hand on him.
Kobe again. I mean, his defense has been so good. It was criticized when he was going through those stretches of the 9 consecutive 40-plus point games. It was becoming all Kobe offense a couple of years ago. And Phil Jackson pointed out, I kind of called him out a little bit on it last year. Bryant's defense has been, especially late in games, very strong again this year.
Well, over the last 3 years, Kobe's shot attempts have gone from 27 to 23 to 20 this year.
Right. Much more efficient. So O'Neal and Gasol for the jump, and look at the shot clock, 10 if Phoenix retains possession. Out of bounds, off Gasol, I believe. No, they say off O'Neal. I thought it was off of Powell.
Well, I thought it was off of Gasol myself, okay? And that's a situation, you never let the ball go out of bounds. Anytime you get a chance to get the ball, catch the basketball. Do not put the pressure on the referees to make the correct call.
After the jump between the two big additions out here in the West, Bryant goes right at Hill. Grant slapped it away. It's out of bounds off Phoenix. And again, if you weren't with us in the first half, Mike D'Antoni told us Grant Hill's defense on Nowitzki last Thursday was terrific. Another defensive addition to this Phoenix team.
What I liked there was that Grant Hill got position and then went for the deflection. And that was an excellent move.
This is a Laker timeout. Just under 3 minutes in regulation. The story out here in the West. Lakers leading Phoenix by 2. A Los Angeles win. They tie Phoenix for the Pacific Division lead. They'll be behind New Orleans. The Hornets won again tonight. They beat Dallas, gone through this very tightly packed West. A half dozen losses separating the first 9 teams out here. You saw Raja Bell hurt earlier on. He's back on the bench, and Lisa Salters has an update. Lee?
Well, Mike, Raja Bell appears to be okay. We've been told that he won't return to the game. He walked back into the training room on his own, but you saw that golf ball size knot on his head. As he was walking back, he told the Suns medical staff that he couldn't remember getting hit. So I'm not sure if he was out cold or not, but he doesn't remember getting hit.
Yeah, Lisa, it did look like he was out 10 to shoot. Odom couldn't get it in. Timeout Lakers.
The Lakers have timeouts to spare here. They still have a full and a 20 even after this call.
20 seconds.
You'll see Phoenix tonight, Friday night, and Sunday afternoon on ESPN and ABC. Sunday, it is the Pistons out here to take on the Suns. Your Sunday, NBA Sunday destination, ABC. Coverage begins with the pregame at 2 Eastern, GMC NBA Countdown. And then the Pistons and the Suns at 2:30 Eastern Time. Mike Green, Mark Jackson, Jeff Van Gundy, Michelle Tafoya will join you here. From Phoenix, 3 to shoot. Kobe over Grant. And Kobe Bryant goes over 40 points. 41 points. That is the 90th game in his NBA career that Bryant has scored over 40. Only Will Chamberlain and Michael Jordan have done it more often.
Right now they have Stoudemire and Shaq up high.
Nash double, Barbosa. 5 to shoot. Rebound. Odom, looks like their spacing is a little bit off from what it normally is.
Well, you're putting in a new set, and 2 guys that are not familiar with who's going to roll, and they end up with it was an okay shot because Barbosa makes that.
And the double helped it out to get it out of Nash's hands. Kobe on Grant, the stutter, the stop. Twice off the tin, the rebound for Hill as we're under 2 minutes.
Now you got to do something here. You got to get a better shot. You got to get into it earlier.
Nash almost did that bounce pass to Stoudemire, and along the way got trips.
Well, give the Lakers a lot of credit because they cut off the roll man who was going right down the middle of the lane. They cut off that bounce pass, and rather than force it, Nash tried to come out and make a play to the right side of the floor.
It was a kick, so retained by Phoenix. Fisher essentially forced out of bounds.
In the old days,
it was
force out. All right. Unfortunately, you got to get a foul here, and you're sending a guy to the line who only shoots at 89%.
Just the third best ever. That's all at the line, right? The foul on Fisher sends Steve Nash. Only Mark Price and Rick Barry, better free throw shooters in NBA history. Steve at 89.5%. Vujicic on the floor here at the end of the game for the Lakers with Fisher, Bryant, Odom, and Gasol.
Well, Phil has stayed with it. He stayed small by going with Fisher and Vujicic in the backcourt and Kobe at small forward. He likes what he's getting. And then also, then for Phoenix, it's an easy matchup. Grant Hill at small forward can play Kobe.
100 seconds, 2-point game. Fisher got Gasol's screen. Fisher over O'Neal. Grant Hill tipped it last and out of bounds. Gasol's jersey was being held by Nash.
This kind of reminds me of a game in the 70s. Okay.
Well, people said the Suns need to be tougher. Well, Shaq has brought toughness here. He knocked his own guy out.
No, that was good. There was a lot of bumping going down inside, and what I liked was they didn't give the easy pick and roll pass to Gasol.
Shaq tumbling on defense, but Gasol able to draw the foul on O'Neal.
Well, by the way, Powell just knocked Shaq over by putting his head into it. I can't believe that he knocked the big fella to the floor.
But did have a foul to give. Now, no fouls to give either way. And a couple of timeouts for both sides in the last 90 seconds. Gasol right back to Odom. Oh, the long arm of Lamar Odom able to get to the hoop.
What I liked there was the fact that Lamar Odom could not make a good pass to the two guards outside. So by going to Gasol as a release guy, he'll give you the return if you're open.
Nash, no. Fisher the rebound.
Oh, give it up here. You got a 3-on-1.
Gasol.
Yes.
Timeout, Phoenix. And the Lakers lead by a half dozen.
That's what you like about the Lakers. They are dynamite in the open floor. And remember, in their 2 wins over Phoenix this year, they scored 122 and 119. And they're right on course here to pass all of that.
And Bryant giving it up on a 41-point night for his 3rd assist as Gasol gets to 27.
Mike, you always like to see that. Anytime you catch your big man, your power forward or your center, running the floor that hard, then you've got to give them the basketball.
QB, a lot of people talk about all the time, well, who's the best? And LeBron's playing so well, and Kobe. It's so hard to decide which guy. It depends on the night you catch him. But look at this. 40-point games, NBA history. Wilt with a staggering number. Jordan with 173. Kobe passed Elgin Baylor earlier this year, and now with 90 all-time 40-plus point games in his NBA career.
Well, the thing I like about it this year, he's not forcing anything. He's staying within what the team is doing. And remember, we played close to 10 minutes in that first quarter. He only had a few shots. He just played, passed the basketball, made the extra pass, and then played with his team because the rest of the guys were doing such a great job and they were getting into the paint. Excellent game plan. But now, as soon as it got difficult, he stepped up, took over, and then his separation when he elevates and goes back, high percentage shot for him.
You know what I love? There was a lot of hype tonight because of Shaq's presence, Shaq against Kobe, 2 weeks of build-up after the trade. The game paid off. This has been a heck of a regular season game.
It's a great game, and you know that Kobe Bryant came in here and he said,
no
the
way.
assassin in me is stepping up. Okay,
not on my watch, right?
That's right. Now we have plenty of time here, and we also know. Remember, Phoenix is the 3rd best three-point shooting team in the league at 38%. So you always must be careful now on dribble penetration and a kickoff. Kick out for a 3-point shot.
O'Neal remains on the floor. Remember, Raja Bell with the injury on the bench. 2-man game, Stoudemire right at Gasol. Missed it as Gasol stayed in the way, and Odom gets the rebound with a minute left.
They had excellent defense that time. Amari had to force that one up over the top of Gasol. I like this. Run some time. Run some time to get what you want.
Gasol isolated with O'Neal, put it on the floor, almost lost it. It's going to be a foul on Shaq, diving for the ball as he took Gasol's legs out, and Powell is shaken up for a moment. 5 on O'Neal.
I like the strategy that time because Gasol, you know that he can take. See how he stepped back? Shaq stepped back because Powell, if he would have picked that ball up, he had a shot. Definite foul on the collision.
Boris Diaw is going to come in here for Phoenix. Gasol's season high is 30. Sitting on 27 right now. 3-possession game. Shaq to the bench. 29 minutes, 15 points, 9 rebounds. 6 of 9 from the field. A much better second half, as QB has been pointing out. In large part the way he was played, but about 7-8 minutes more than I think Phoenix thought they were going to play him tonight. +8. Big 3 for LA as their last 18 points. Amari. Cleared for takeoff.
Now you got to get up in here. See, they weren't prepared to come with the full court pressure.
Vujacic breaks midcourt.
If you're not going to go out here now and foul and play clock management, well, they're going to precious 24 seconds off this clock.
Vujacic the catch. Foul him. Barbosa knocked it out of bounds, but a foul was called on Diaw. And that was either you had to trap hard or you had to give him a foul right across midcourt, right?
Well, first of all, on the score, you should have been down at 100. We call that pressing full court. Okay. Go for the steal. You don't get it, then you foul. Because it's clock management. By not fouling and coming up the floor, they ran off a good almost 20 seconds, okay? 19 or 20 seconds off the clock by you not knowing what you were doing at that time period.
And a great shooter, Vujacic, an 85%er, knocks that first one down. And it's also magnified by you only have one clock stop left, Phoenix only with one timeout.
I like what Phil Jackson has done tonight. Yeah. A lot of confidence in Vujacic, keeping him on the floor. Now, Fisher and Kobe, you can understand.
Nash all the way, Stoudemire. Oh, my goodness. Here comes the quick give by Barbosa. It'll send Vujacic right back to the line. Stoudemire is 37 points and 15 boards tonight.
Well, I think what we're seeing here, the Lakers are for real, no doubt about that.
Oh, yeah.
And once again, we tell you, they have 127 points. So in their 3 wins, 119, 122, and right now 127 and counting. So you know they can score the ball if you want to run up and down the floor with them. The big thing right now is the Phoenix situation. Can they defend? Because coming into this game, now with this loss, they'll be 5-12 against the other 8 playoff teams that are contending for the 8 spots.
And you saw Steve Kerr, the GM and the president of basketball operations, Robert Sarver, the managing partner, the ownership group of the Phoenix Suns. But this is an experiment. It's the first game of it. You'll see it grow as time goes on, but the reality is in the West, how much experimental time do you have? The 3 by Diaw, 3.3 to go, and Barbosa gives the foul to Vujacic.
Well, I'd like to bring out the fact that Golden State is 9th. Yeah. Golden State has a record of 32-21. They're playing 600 basketball. They are 9th. If they were in the East, they would be 4th with home court advantage.
And you're talking about a Phoenix team that, absorbing this loss, lost 17 losses. So you see how tight it is and sliding down. And Phoenix has a very tough stretch here over the next couple of nights. This is the first. Celtics in here on ESPN Friday night. The Pistons on Sunday on ABC. And the trip to Memphis, trip to New Orleans, and then Philadelphia.
Like they say, no chopped liver the rest of this week. Okay.
No. 130 to 124. The Los Angeles Lakers spoil the debut of Shaquille O'Neal with the Phoenix Suns. But the Lakers, more importantly, tie Phoenix for the lead in the Pacific Division and win the head-to-head season series 3-1. So they would have the tiebreaker over the Suns. Kobe over 40 for the 90th time in his career, and he's with Lisa Salters.
Kobe, they took the lead for the first time in a long time at about 7 and some change, and then it seemed like you kicked in a completely different gear. What was going through your mind at that point?
Well, just trying to take advantage of what the defense gives me. Obviously, in those situations where we kind of stall out, it was my responsibility to kind of kick it up another level.
Now, I know you're being low-key right now, but I also know you love moments like this. It felt like a playoff game to us. What did it feel like out there for you?
It felt good. It was a great atmosphere, and I'm just very pleased with the way we responded and we executed and stayed within ourselves. And yeah, but this was a fun game to play in.
Now, at one point when the crowd really got into it, I think Shaq had a big dunk, but down on the other end, Powell had a big dunk and a three-point play. Timeout was called. I saw you walking back to your bench telling the crowd, yes. What message were you trying to send there?
Oh, yeah, we're here to play. We're here to play. It's fun. We feel like we have a great opportunity, and it's important for my teammates to understand that we're here, and for us to believe in ourselves and not think we can do it, but know we can do it.
All right, thanks a lot. Congratulations on the win.
You got it.
And one thing we know, Lise, they can score against the Suns quarters of 32, 33, 30, and 35 to total 130 points in a regulation game. Oh, basketball gods, give us Suns Lakers in the playoffs. This is so good. We need a third one of those. Coach, it was fun. Enjoyed it. Well, listening.
pleasure,
You and Mike Green on Friday with Lisa. Thanks to Ed Pivashoff, our producer, Ken Dennis, our director, Marty Aronoff with the stats telling us 92 points from Kobe, Gasol, and Odom. Erased Stoudemire's 37. Lakers by 6. Good night from Phoenix. Next stop is SportsCenter.